Thank you, thank you, thank you for those who are joining us on Facebook. If this is your first time, please share us out as a watch party with your friends. We're trying to grow our community of friendly 55 plus year olds in Facebook land. And if you're on, you can also share it with other groups that you may find of interest. So my name is Linda. Thank you for joining us. I'm Linda Sam, and I'm the creator of this conversation with couples. And it is a conversation series under our Married Tribe 55 community. And my co-host is my wonderful husband, Tony Sam, who happens to be a phenomenal R&B singer. And so we've decided that at the top of every one of our shows, my husband would give us a song of inspiration. So today, here he is, Tony Sam.
Hello.
Take it away, honey.
Okay, I'm gonna do a little something by my mentor, Mr. Nat King Cole. Can you hear the music?
A little bit.
Bring the box over. What you do with the box, honey?
Can you hear it now, you guys? When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. In a restless world like this is, love has ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seem to cool in the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too, is when I fall in love with you. You hear me? I love me some Nat King Cole, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yes, beautiful.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Well, yeah, connecting successfully. Okay. Well, thank you, honey. Thank you so much for that just small amount of little encouragement of being in love.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
I bet you are, Yamamoto. Shut up. Okay, turning off our microphone. So again, welcome everyone for joining us here on our Candid Conversations with Couples. This is our 9th episode, you guys, and I am so excited to be bringing and offering this information and conversations with all of our friends. And today I have none other than 2 of my special friends, Oliver and Juanita Sims. Yeah.
All right.
Oliver and
Welcome,
Juanita.
you guys. Welcome.
Thank
And I
you.
start out, I'd let our couples tell our audience a little bit about each of them and the work that they are doing.
All righty.
Oh, my wife was yours.
So I'm Juanita Palacios Sims. Oliver and I have been together, married 15 years.
Known each other 6 prior to that.
Known each other 6 years prior to that. We were really good friends. And we started dating the 7th year in January, and by December, he proposed. And we were married the next year. So 15 years plus. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
All right.
that's 21 years. We're going to tout it
Yeah.
as 21 years
All right.
Making me sound
being married. And we are newlyweds. We've only been married since December
Wow.
the 9th,
Hey,
December the 8th. Ooh, excuse me.
you forgot already.
Oh,
It's been so wonderful being married to you, honey, that it's just amazing.
oh my.
So,
Oh my.
We're coming from our living room today. Due to COVID-19, I do want to express at the beginning of each show that every week our show topics change. Every week we come up with one thing, and then something's happening in our world to where we shift. And it's a good thing so that we're able to do this and be relevant about what's happening right now. And our topic for today that we chose is soundboarding, sounding board, finding someone that you can talk to, bounce off of, release, relate, all of those things. And I know, Juanita, you and we talked about it and how it's important for couples to be able to find somebody to soundboard off of, is what we're calling.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so share with our audience a little bit about that experience and what you've been doing with it.
Well, thank you for having us, Linda. Yes, you and I were talking about the soundboarding. You know, Oliver and I, we're here, you know, in quarantine. We've been in quarantine, just the two of us with our little doggy for as long as everyone else has here in Los Angeles. But we have friends and us looking out to friends to kind of just feel we can't hug, we can't really go out there and you know, get together. So a lot of times we just pick up the phone and call someone, or someone may call us or call me to be a soundboard, just to listen. And have been finding myself doing that more and more, just listening. I have friends that have been out there working in the front line and doing a lot of stuff with many people. And sometimes they just need that release for someone to listen to them. They may need a hug, but with this coronavirus, can't give them a hug. So being a soundboard is what's been so important.
Absolutely.
I found that, you know, in this midst of this poison that is taking place right now, that there are some positives. And one of the positives, I'll give it a small example, just within my family. You know, when there's a death in the family, there's sometimes, unfortunately, a little bit of turmoil between the family members. And when my mother passed, there was some turmoil, and not one group not speaking to the other. But because of this virus, what took place was that everyone's kind of isolated. Everyone is kind of rethinking where they are. And in the process, because of this Zoom, my family has come together and has merged with Juanita's family. And so now the Palacios family, the Sims family, have been able to talk. And what it's done is help bring my family together, you know, and opened up that door to continue the dialogue. And so now I've been talking to my brothers and my sisters on a regular basis, which has been great. I mean, and so I think that's been a positive thing for us, that we've been able to, you know, connect with family members.
You know, and that's interesting you say about the Zoom. This Zoom tool has become a great tool for a lot of our families. And just being able to bring us together throughout the miles. I started a Thursday night call for my family. I'm a sibling of 8. My mother have over 140 grandkids, all here in the city.
Wow.
And so trying to get them on a Zoom call, it's been like night and day, girl. But I kept on trying. I told them I will leave the line open. Whoever want to show up, Granny will be there so you could talk to her. You know, she'll be 90 in August. So it's a way for them to communicate. But
and it's helped.
It is.
Our family have gotten together. We, on a regular basis, get together on a Sunday for dinner. My mom passed last year, but us siblings, there's 5 of us, we continued it. And then when this coronavirus hit, it was like, okay, we got to continue the Sunday get together, even if just to see each other or just call each other. We started out with a phone call, and then the Zoom thing came up, and it's like, why don't we do the Zoom call? And that's how we got started. But Zoom has helped us so much just to reach out and see people. Like right now, seeing you, we haven't seen each other out in a while, and we used to see each other all the time. So
Right.
this is great. Yeah.
One of the things that's taken place also, and I hear my wife, I think women have a tendency to a little more open in talking to their friends and one another. Men, we have a little bit of disconnect. I have maybe 1, 2, 3 individual friends that I talk to on a regular basis. But what's taken place because of the Zoom, I'm on a link with about 15 to 20 guys that it evolved. And in that, we're talking about everything, life, being Black men, the struggles, trying to be positive to one another. So within that storm again, there's this link of men who've come together, who are talking about things. I had a procedure a couple of weeks ago, and I was able to actually express what took place, and come to find out there are a couple of other people that had the procedure, and they were able to kind of tell me what to expect. If that wouldn't have happened, if we have not had this virus going around that had us locked down, and the
Right.
need to connect with one another. So that's another outrage, and that has taken place.
How do you guys think, how can we connect and find a sounding board within our network?
Well, another thing, as you know, Linda, I have a nonprofit, the International Society of Black Latinos. And what I've done is I've connected with Reverend Calvin Sauls and First Five. And every Friday, my board members and myself and all of it, we all go and help pass out food to those in need. For me, that has been my soundboard, so to speak. That's been my refuge, just going out, seeing people, helping. It has helped me more than I think it's helped me helping others. With the connection and just being around people. It's been something very helpful. And then also, it's kind of sad too to see where we are today and how many people are in need. But overall, that's how it's helped me.
I agree. I enjoy really going with her and being part of the group and participating in that community activity. It's it kind of reminds me of Martin Luther King, of giving back to the beloved community. And that's what we're doing through her organization because of the epidemic. And on the other side of that, I'm part of a World Peace Organization, and it's a very integrated group. And I've been working with several young men of different denominations, of cultures anyway, Hispanic, Black, white, Japanese, and these are some young men, and 18 to 30, and they've been reaching out. And it's kind of interesting that they look at myself and others because of our experience. I mean, when we think about it, all of us, the 4 of us on this panel, on this phone right now, we have a breadth of experience that we've lived through and
Right.
history, and it's interesting because as I speak right now, we're living through another history.
Right.
And I explain that to them. You got to be victorious in what's going on because you're living through history, and you got to be able to tell the story of how you got through this.
Right, because I remember the riots in the 60s. I was probably 5 or 6. I could vividly remember in the projects how all the fire and the looting and all that was going on. And then here in 92, and here we are again in 2020. I never would have thought.
Think about everything that we've gone through. And that's the beauty of, in a sense, the beauty of what Oliver is talking about. The young people being able to come out and hear our experiences. Because if you think about it, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. his assassination was 52 years ago. Malcolm X, that was a couple of years prior to that, I believe, And so, like you said, Linda, we've gone through that. We've gone through desegregation. We've gone through the Rodney King, 9/11. We've gone through a lot. So we are able to be the sounding board for the youth and for those that are coming out. And I have a positive feel for, out of all this negativity is taking place now that took place with that police officer, I think this outburst, I think it's going to get better because these young kids that are out there now, that's all you see is a lot of young adults and they're mixed race. They didn't grow up like we did with the segregation. They've grown up with a Black president. They've grown up with, you know, all different nationalities in their schools and friends. So I have hope that this outburst is now going to evolve and help us move this country forward. That's my hope.
There's a certain
Yeah.
power of youth that is taking
Yeah.
place right now. I mean, when we think about it, we were responsible for the changes that took place in the 60s and 70s, you know, and now it's their generation. And
Right.
different, ours was a means of survival.
Mhm.
Theirs now, they're kind of finding, you know, things have been there and given for them, and they're now finding that what the reality of life is. And so we had a conversation, and I explained to them that it's the power of youth, that we're turning over the reins to you, and you now have to do it from a place of wisdom.
Mhm.
Knowledge is not enough. Anybody and everybody has a certain amount of knowledge.
Mhm.
Does knowledge help you, and does it help somebody else? Wisdom, on the other hand, provides a means where you do things from a compassionate, moral, with integrity perspective that you share with others. So it's interesting how I remember my phone's ringing on a constant basis from some of these young kids that I didn't know were listening to me when I go to my meetings and so forth. I mean, you know, we interact, but I'm hearing from a lot more than I normally would.
Right. And then,
Same
you
here,
know,
yeah.
mentors are great sounding boards, and they're a great relationship to establish as a person of trust. And I know that during this time of COVID and we're all locked down, a lot of our seniors, excuse me, don't want to go out, don't want to get involved in technology. So we have to be able to fill this gap and help bridge it as the generation of mentorship to help the young generation. I don't watch TV during the day because I just cannot inject all that stuff into my spirit. It's not that I don't care about it or I'm not attached to it. It's just that I choose not to
That's enough.
intake it all.
Mhm.
You know, I can get a little in the morning, but after that, I can't watch it.
Right.
And so, and plus I'm so busy over here woodshedding that I don't even have time. You know what I'm saying? I've engaged myself in having more activities, but I see that we need to be able to have a sounding board.
Mhm.
Being a newlywed couple, he needs to be able to have men friends to talk to.
Mhm.
Just being here locked up in the house with me 24/7, what is that doing for you, honey, in terms of your psyche in wanting to be able to give out?
Okay, as far as my psyche, it's good, honey. I love being here with you. I'm glad it's you that I'm here with. Could
Aw.
have been, you know, come on. I'm truly blessed.
I appreciate that, honey.
You hear me, Oliver?
Yeah, I got you, man. You got good points coming your way.
All right, all right.
I hear you. I hear you.
And it is, and it allows you to be able to nurture our relationship, especially being it's new. We've been able to get closer to each other because I'm not always gone like I would normally be, as the busy person that I am. I would always be. Today is Tuesday. Oh no, today is Monday. So your days get crossed up too.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But Mondays, excuse me, I would generally be home. But Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I would be up at our church doing my administrative stuff for them. And then, but to be here, it is helping me to, what I find I'm sounding on him. I'm everything that's coming out, I'm giving it to him. I don't have,
Right.
as things are happening, I'm, honey, listen to this, and honey.
Right.
And
Sound
sometimes
familiar?
that he shouldn't be that sounding
Yeah.
board. What I'm trying to get to,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
shouldn't be that sounding board all the time for me. And being able to have friends that you could call and talk to is a great outlet for couples. Couples need to understand that you have an option to find friends to sound off of.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. I have my set of friends, Oliver has his, and then we have ours. And, it's funny because friends ask me that don't know that I work from home because I have a travel business agency and we know how it is now. But we've always worked from home. Oliver retired and now he's home. He has his office upstairs. We both have the office upstairs. Sometimes I'm down here and he's up there all day and we see each other at lunchtime. Then we go our separate ways and then we see each other at dinner time. Or if we want to talk like you, if I hear something, babe, okay, one more time. I'm not going to bug you anymore, but babe, listen to this. And then 5-10 minutes later, babe, one more thing. But I love that I have that because he's my sounding board and vice
Yeah.
versa.
I mean, it's not annoying. It really is. Sometimes it's like, okay, babe, but then I can understand it. It's her sense of excitement or frustration,
Mhm.
and I'm there to kind of, like a sponge to pick that up,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
that's the beauty of it as well, that you're able to sound off to somebody that you want to be around,
right.
and you're not
Right.
stuck in some situation. So how
And
do you
that's-
guys use, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, how do you guys use this time to deal with all that is happening? I mean, we've gone in the last 4 days from the time we talked about our show to now we in a world,
A
whatever we
lockdown.
want to call. Yeah,
A lockdown.
it's a different curfew.
It's
Now
a
we got a
different
curfew.
curfew. And it's funny. So Friday, I went to, do the church, pass out the food and stuff. And then I had some errands to run. Got back home and Oliver and I said, okay, tomorrow, Saturday, we're going to go hang out, take a drive by the beach to get out of the house. Oh my gosh. All this stuff started Friday. Then Saturday, when we were getting ready to head out, we were going to take a drive to Santa Barbara. And it was around 2:00. And I said, babe, you know what? Let's just stay in. Let's just stay in. Thank God I said that because by 6:00,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
And so we just been home. This is our safe haven.
Correct.
Prayer. Through prayer, I was texting my family. My family and I, we text each other all day long and all night, just checking up on each other. And every morning, my cousin sends us a Bible verse, which we meditate on, all of us, and we read and we pray. And I tell you, Linda, that helps throughout the day because if you get stuck, and I had to remind my family, it's like we walk by faith, not by sight. The faith is that things will get better and it's under God's will. We just pray for peace, pray for direction, pray for mercy, pray for forgiveness. And by sight, we see everything that's around us. But, we try to stay faithful to our word, and that's how we stay sane. And Oliver,
I agree. We have different philosophies of life, but it's still about life. And one of the things I think is important is to stay healthy. And what I mean by that is to stay healthy mentally, physically, spiritually. And what does that mean? And that means that each individual has to find what that is that helps them stay healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually. I mean, with this lockdown, but I kind of learned how to do this the many times I was out of work, frustrated as a young man. I learned that approach. So I find myself reading a lot. I do a verbal meditation every day. And I read things that takes me away, and I read things that encourage me to take the next step, encourage me to make the next call, encourages me to accept the call. So it's difficult but we have to stay healthy mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Yeah, and we've routine ourselves to at least get out the house and go take a walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
got to get some circulation. You cannot just sit and watch TV all day and eat.
Eat.
Eat and eat.
Oh my gosh.
I done put on so many
We
pounds.
all gonna roll out the house when this is over. Roll.
Girl, and I used to, of course I used to walk every day, walk, and just being here now, I'm not showing you my arms because they just going out of control, but just I'm now making it a point to at least to try to walk once a week all the way from here to Inglewood.
Mhm.
That's my outlet, to take that 1 hour walk and try to stretch out my legs and my weight and everything. And so it's because so much is happening from week to week, it's difficult.
Right.
It's difficult to even keep up with what is happening. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
from one week we're hunkered down for COVID. Well, now this week we're hunkered down because of other chaos, and the COVID is still not over.
No.
So it's still so it's this double amounts of emotions that we're dealing with as couples.
Right.
You know, and God, I bless the couples who just are being together now for the first time after being married for 40 years, where the husband was on the road 30
Yeah.
and 40.
Yeah.
Now, because they're saying that couples are not going to remain together after this because they've been so inundated with each other on a day-to-day basis that they're going to be running to the courthouse to get a divorce. And that was one of the main motivators for me to say, no, we're not. We're going to be happy. We're going to come out of this. We're going to stay married. We're going to stay sane. We're going to have conversations at least once a week to help us,
Right.
to stay married throughout this. So even if we got to take our own video and look at it over and over and over.
Oh my gosh. We
We're
get
going
delirious in here, but it's working. It's
I
working.
know.
Yeah.
And like you
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
taking walks, Oliver exercises more than I do. But we have a little doggy, so she keeps us busy. And
It's like having a child.
it is. It really is. We don't have children, but the little doggy is our little Ginger is our little child. And it keeps us busy. He may get tired and say, okay, I'm going to go out for a swim, or I'm taking Ginger for a walk, or vice versa. I'm more of the, okay, I'm going to go take a ride because I like being close to the water. I feel like by the water, that's my sounding board. I can just feel that breeze, that ocean air, and it clears my mind. It clears everything. And then we're back to, back home.
Quarantine.
Quarantine, right.
Yeah.
But it helps.
I know it. And the fact that we are quarantined, it helps us too to just keep up with the everyday thing, getting tongue tied.
Makes us appreciate things
Yes.
again. The little things.
Yeah.
Right.
It does.
That's a baby.
It does. Really, seriously.
All the things you used to take for granted.
Yeah,
Right,
it's true.
right,
It's true. It's
Such a
true.
blessing.
Tons of things. Huh?
Okay.
And people are still taking things for granted. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Nothing is promised.
That's true.
That's right. But
That
think
is true.
about it. People are now doing more family things. You said something that was so interesting. As far as the husbands or the wives that traveled a lot, now they're at home with their family or their spouse. It's funny because I had experience when Oliver was working, he was always traveling. And, now that we're here together, people find things to do, ways to make up the time. Sometimes we'll just get popcorn and say, okay, babe, want to watch a movie?
Yeah.
And that's what we do. Or you want to play, a game, or we'll sit out in the balcony and listen to music, while he's puffing on some cigar. We're sitting there enjoying things and talking. And yeah.
And taking advantage of the fact that as bad as things are, it's not as bad as it could be.
It could be, that's right.
Right.
One of
Yeah.
our couples came on and said that they have reverted back to dating
Mhm.
because treating each
Yeah.
other as if they're dating keeps the relationship fresh, keeps
Yeah.
it, it's no longer an a taken for granted type situation. I'm your girlfriend. This is
Right.
one of the pastors and wives that came on and talked to us. Oh, I'm your girlfriend. So treat me like you would treat your girlfriend.
Right. Right.
And
And it's funny. It's funny because we had date night. Our date night's Friday nights. So we had date nights and it was always going to the movies, right? Or, going to dinner,
Music.
going to listen to music, or going to dinner and then going to a movie. So I find it interesting. Oliver on Fridays, he'll say, okay, babe, let's watch a movie. Now, the whole week we've been in our caves, he's been in his, I've been in mine. And I like the fact that even with this quarantine, he's still, we're still looking at each other and saying, okay, it's Friday, it's date night. What are we doing? What are we watching? Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something, well, we used to go listen to jazz, of course, in Inglewood on Sunday evenings. And just the fact that I cannot go and listen to live jazz, I'm grateful for Jock bringing it live via Zoom, and you can sit, but it's not the same as
Not the same.
being in that room
Yeah.
and getting that live music.
I
And
tell
so
you.
I'm just adjusting. This has been a time of adjusting for me in this short couple of months. Here it is. Who would have thought that here in June? This is our third month going on.
Yeah.
Being hunkered down. This day is June the 1st.
You okay, Tony?
What a way to start a marriage. Locked up in the house.
Hey, if you come out of this, you'll be together for life.
Yeah, I think so,
Yeah.
Absolutely. So sharing your legacy, Oliver, that we talked about a little bit with others and you working with the youth, how has that helped fulfill this time for you?
I think part of that is that I'm very fortunate of the family that I do have, the elders before me, and just to have seen what they have accomplished and what they did. It's almost instilled to me that I have to give back. And I used to think of my struggles as my struggles, but I did not know that they would be the ingredients of survival. And so now I'm able to share that with young people. And it gives me joy to say, as difficult as it is, you'll get through this. I had never envisioned that I would be able to walk away from an entertainment company and retire. It was just something I had never contemplated, but to be able to do that, and then be able to go and share the work that I've done and talk about the obstacles that I had overcome to get the positions that I've had, to share the fact that I've turned author and writer. I've never dreamed of doing that, and now I'd be able to share that. And so I'm just kind of following in the footsteps of even my father and uncles who were great mentors to me, and I'm just trying to pay back as homage to them.
And what's the name of the organization?
I belong to the Soka Gakkai International, or SGI USA. It's a World Peace Buddhist organization, and I've been a standing member for about 45 years. And so in those last 30 years, I've had a position as a volunteer and just share my experiences of my practice and life. The two go hand in hand. And so, and I've been talking to many people, young and old, in regards to our circumstances. I just wanted to share a little bit of words of wisdom and hopefully encouragement. Unless we bring out the best sides of our character and our inner tendencies, they can often become the cause of our unhappiness. Faith in our humanity as human beings enable us to interact the negative aspects of our personality and bring out our positive aspects. Faith in our humanity towards one another is our goal and objectives. And with faith brings hope, and hope brings victory.
Thank you so much for those words of inspiration. And then Juanita, I know you have your organization that is fulfilling your time as well during this time. Tell us a little bit about your organization.
The International Society of Black Latinos. I'm from Cuba. My father was Colombian, mom was Cuban. And my organization is to bring awareness of the Afro-Latino. And we've gone to schools to help the Black and brown kids, unite. There was a time there was a lot of division, and even now there's been divisions between Black and brown. So the fact that we're Black and we're Latinos has helped us be that bridge between the groups. Oliver's Buddhist, I'm Christian, and standing on my beliefs, that's helped me tremendously, especially helping other kids. I've been a mentor to young girls for many years. I was with the Hershey group. But I find that during this time, I've gotten a lot of calls from friends and girls that just want to get advice, just want to talk, just want me to listen, just want to hear a word of kindness, something to help them through. This time is kind of difficult too for those. We're fortunate, you and I, Linda, because we have our spouse, but there's a lot of people out there living by themselves and dealing with this whole thing alone. And that's tough. Being able to help them through that has been gratifying.
That's got to be tough.
It's got to be tough. Yeah. But, this whole thing that's happened, this outburst, this Black Lives Matter, I think it's so huge. And I see it getting better for us, for Black men, us Black women. We've always lifted up our men. And to see this coming to a head, it's almost like it's a good thing because things are coming out and we'll come out better, I believe, from all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I just think we will.
Yeah, I think this is different, I guess, in the sense that it's a lot more concentrated. With this technology, these young kids are able to move and get around and communicate a whole lot better than we do ever. And it reminds me of a flash mob.
Mm-hmm.
They can they know where to go, they know how to move, they know where to be, they're activated all over the country. This is some new stuff. This is really different.
It is.
And now,
go ahead.
If they could use that for good, then while it's their watch, they can create the change that they need for us to see.
Yeah, and I think that you brought up a good point. I think it's important. Is because they can do this. It's extremely important that they have the wherewithal to do the right things. And that's where our role in helping and guide them is like, you've got a whole different concept or way of doing things in a very massive and huge way. But it's another thing to make sure that it stays within the duration of being fine characters and use it with moral discretion.
And I think they will, because we went through our stage and we came out okay. I like the fact that, yes, this movement is on Black lives, but it's emphasizing on Black men. How long has it been, or when was the time that we emphasized on our Black men? Throughout history, throughout slavery, they tried to demeanor, to bring down Black men. With this movement, what are we focusing on? We're focusing on Black Lives Matter, but the emphasis is our Black men.
They matter.
It's like it's their time, finally, because they always try to use the Black women, and treat the Black men as that they weren't even in the families or weren't even around. But we know that the Black men have always also been in our families. You think of our grandfathers and that sort of thing. So I think this movement emphasizing on the Black men, again, it's good.
Yeah. And I think I hope for the best in it turning out to come out to be something more amazing than we even know right now. God has plans
He
that
does.
most of the time we don't even know. We think
Right.
we know what's going to happen, but his plans always show up and show out.
And show out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And generally, I would I'm grateful for this time. For those of you who may just be joining us, I'm Linda Sam, the host of this Candid Conversation with Couples, and my wonderful co-host here, my wonderful husband,
Great
Tony
singer.
Sam, great R&B singer.
Thanks a lot, pal.
And our guests are Juanita and Oliver Sims, good friends of ours.
Yeah.
And I took on the opportunity to have a professional company that I'd like to give a shout out to on the live video. I think I got it right. Don't quote me, Ross. Text me something if I got it wrong. But you can go to edityourvideo.com is his website. And I've been wanting to just be able to sit back and relax to do the show instead of trying to navigate it myself. And you would see me moving up and moving back, trying to make sure that everything is set up. And he's been able to help me with this process. And it's streaming over on Facebook. I'm asking all of you who are on Facebook to please share it out. Share it with your friends in a watch party. And these conversations, you never know who they may help. Your friends may be the one person that you didn't think this conversation would be for, and it would be able to help them. Just knowing that they have a couple of friendly faces that they see talking about what is happening and what's going on in our society as couples. And so I'm grateful and I'm appreciative of you guys being on here. And I know this conversation is meant to go on and on and on. And it's always been meant to be had with couples who are mature, who can pass on something to our next generation. So I'm going to take this opportunity to ask each of you to pour out some words of encouragement to our youth who are out there looting in the streets that maybe stumble upon this video on their phone late, sometime tonight or tomorrow, whenever, to encourage them to do what's right versus what's wrong. And you guys both can take a couple of minutes to do that.
Okay. I'll just say to the young people, the power of youth. Be bold, everywhere be bold. And in doing that with integrity, moral value, and a humanistic approach for the good of self and for the good of others.
Absolutely.
My advice is be strong. You guys are leaders. We look up to you guys. You know what you're doing. The ability to be out there and protesting, it's encouraging, but at the same time, be wise. This looting is not doing anything but hurting our communities. Stop looting, please. Focus on the message, which is Black Lives Matter. All lives matter, but keep going, but stop looting, please.
Absolutely. And honey, did you have some words of encouragement?
Yeah, I just want to say that we're all mentors to someone. Someone's always watching you.
Right.
Young people are watching you, listening to you, whether you know it or not. So we have to always set good examples, because when I was growing up, I had none of those. But that's another story. But those things are important. So we need to always be great examples and great mentors to the young folks, because they're going to do what they see.
Right.
That's how it goes, And also, I wanted to say thanks a lot for inviting us over to your house that time. I had a great time.
Let's come back when this is over. Come back.
Food was
We'll
good.
have you over.
Juanita and I were speaking Spanish out there on the balcony.
That's right. You surprised me.
We'll get back in the swing of things.
As I surprised you. Tienen que volver. Tienen que volver.
I know. The getting back to the normalcy of our lives is what
yes.
I can't wait for. I'm Zooming with City Club for committee meetings, and we have events that we're trying to plan through Zoom. So it's a whole new world of being on the computer. And he says,
Yeah.
I'm on here day in and day out. From the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I'm staring at my computer screen. Is that you too, Juanita?
Ooh. I think I've heard that too.
Sunrise and sunset and in between.
That's right.
I know it. So it's the new.
It's important
norm.
what you ladies are doing. It's important.
That's true.
It is,
Yeah,
you know,
it
and I realize that, you know,
Mhm.
it's not just for
We're not
the
playing
sake of it.
video games.
Right. They're,
That's right.
they're working their work.
Yeah.
And I've always been a proponent of work your work.
Mhm.
That is so true. And I know my big sister is up next, Barbara Perkins, with her talk, Real Talk with Love. I moved, we are back to back of each other within an hour's time. And so let me ask you guys, I can bounce this off of you. Do you think that we could have this conversation in 45 minutes and that would be sufficient information to be able to give versus going an hour?
Well, just it's a summary sort of, but the more you speak, the more things come out. I like this easy flowing conversation.
Yeah.
And people get things out of it. So, an hour is good because you never know who's listening and how much they need to
Right.
hear.
Yeah.
This is nice.
There wasn't any dead spots. I mean, the conversation was ongoing and lively, and there was something to have been said and expressed.
Mhm.
So I think an hour is good. 45 minutes is not bad, but you then get in that little time warp where you get an hour, you can kind of
Stretch out and be
Right,
more
Yeah,
comfortable.
yeah.
And
Right.
and I'm appreciating the fact that, even though our studio would have been at our church, with cameras, lights, action, and all of that, we're able to be comfortable in our own homes and not
Right.
let that stop us from being able to do this. Because I
Right.
could have gotten, frustrated and disillusioned and said, "Oh, I don't want to do that." I said, "No, this is the reason I'm going to do it, because now I can reach my friends. They can't give me no excuses that they're not at home.
I couldn't use that one, Linda.
I'm too busy.
Yeah.
I'm on a
Yeah.
plane." You can get on and on and on. And so, and I just wanted to be comfortable in some, a nice conversation. And it's a candid conversation that we're having as friends, that because I'm an international individual, as you are, we are with many of the organizations that we
Right,
deal with.
right.
These things can go across the world, to our friends, and sharing them out to all of our different networks. So I'm just grateful for you guys coming on today. I'm grateful that you're here on our 9th Candid Conversation with Couples, because Mary Tribe 55 Plus, Couples Only, is the organization that is presenting this Candid Conversation today. And I look forward to many more. This is not the only one. We'll be able to come back and talk about as many things as we want. This is our open platform to be able to share with the world. So anytime you guys want to come back, just let me know and I will pencil you in.
Yeah, come back.
And we thank you for the opportunity. This was fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I
This
know.
was fun. Thank you, Linda and Tony. Love you guys.
Okay.
Got to have you over once this is done.
For sure.
All right.
Yes. Well, with that, we'll sign off. And me and Ross didn't talk about how I would let them know that I would be signing off. But Ross, we are ready to wrap up our show for today. It's been wonderful. June the 1st on Candid Conversations with Couples. Bye-bye,
right.
you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego. Nos vemos pronto.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
All right.